That biofeedback thing has me so totally relaxed. I'm not sure I can get through this.
Can you smile?
Yeah.
There you go.
So, boss, tell the nice people out there your name and what we're going to talk about today.
Hello, and welcome to Messages and Methods. I'm your host, Shelley Carney. Today we'll be talking about the minimum livecast setup and how you can set up your own in-home studio for live streaming.
Because who doesn't need live streaming? And I'm Toby Eunice. I'm the technical director. So if we have any faux pas today, it's my fault. All right.
All that French stuff. All the French today.
Oh, the French.
All the French stuff. Did you have French toast for breakfast?
I did.
I should have French fries for lunch then.
Here we go.
If you are in your 50s or older, we've got something wonderful to share with you. Do you want to produce a live stream, podcast, and blog to quickly expand your brand and business? Or would you like to visit with us, tell us your story and share your message with the world? Experience Messages and Methods live stream podcast with Shelley Carney and Toby Eunice. Every week we come together to discuss topics related to encore entrepreneurs, content marketing, live streaming video, podcasting, and blogging. We share stories, experiences, and knowledge to help others in their journey to creating a highly visible online presence. Subscribe today and become a part of our treasured community.
And have some French bread for dinner.
And French bread, right? French toast, French fries, and French bread.
It's a Frenchy day.
Which is everything that nice lady said. That's what we're doing today. So.
Okay.
So let me start. Today, our presentation is the episode 3 in a series of 11 episodes in which we teach you everything you need to know about becoming a proficient live stream marketing expert.
Sure.
You think?
Or a live cast producer.
Or a live cast producer, yeah. So this is this episode 3 is the one in which we're going to tell you about what we think are the minimum requirements for a live cast studio setup. So that it's what you're going to find is that you probably have a lot of these components already available to you. You're also going to find that you might have to make some additional investment, but we've tried to minimize the amount of investment you might have to make. So I'm going to switch over to banners right now and make sure you guys get the lower banner. By the way, do I still have that banner? The super chat light is lit. So if you'd like to make a super chat to our little project here, you can go down to the bottom of your chat window and click on the stylized but grayed out $, and YouTube will very graciously walk you through the process of making a super chat. All right. So I'm going to go to the next slide and let Shelley take it from here. All right, Shelley.
All right, today's agenda, we're talking about, again, the minimum setup for you to have an in-home studio where you can do your live streaming, podcasting, and blogging. And we are going to cover your internet connection, your computer hardware, your studio, quote unquote, studio equipment, the applications you'll need, and what you want to save up for if you don't have it yet, but you want to get it, things that you want to put on your list of things to save up for.
And you're going to find, as Shelley put the word studio in quotes, we have a studio. We actually converted one of the rooms in my house into the studio that we're streamcasting from right now. And you don't have to do that. We're not expecting that you're going to put the kind of time, money, and effort into making a dedicated studio, but you should have something that enables you to focus. There's a I like the term that Shelley used just a little while ago. There's some good biofeedback and positive energy that comes from being in a place, in a space, in your home or office or a building that enables you to connect with your listeners, your viewers. And that's your studio. And if that studio happens to be a desk with a ring light on the other side of it, then that's your studio. But you're connecting with people via that studio. So it should be a place of comfort and relaxation and energization. Is that a word?
Sure.
Okay, we'll use that for you because it is for us. We come into this room and like it just energizes
And I
us.
feel like a lot of people in our age group have a spare bedroom in their home. They may use it as a sewing room or for exercise equipment, or they have something, a hobby or an office they set up in that extra bedroom. And what you can do is add on just a little bit and use that same room. So if it's a sewing room, for instance, you could put the sewing things on one side and you could do your live streaming on the other side of the room. So consider having a room where you go in, things are nice and neat, and you turn on a few switches and you're ready to go.
And that's how it is for us.
Mhm.
Literally, we can turn on the lights and we're open up our copy of StreamYard, the StreamYard application. We're ready to go. I do want to point out that down here in the corner, you'll see our website, our email address, and our phone number. That phone number you can text or voicemail to. If we're in the studio, we can answer it. But if you need to get in touch with us, that's a good way to do it. All right. So let's start with the internet connection. The internet connection is important because if you're going to have problems in communicating with your audience, the internet is going to be the first place to look. It doesn't have to be perfectly high performance, but you do have to have a supplier that you can rely upon, because there's nothing worse than finding out when you're about to start your live stream that you don't have internet access. We do not recommend using your smartphone in a selfie mode and using that to live stream to. As a matter of fact, YouTube actually requires that you have 1,000 subscribers before they enable you to live stream through your phone. So you're going to use a laptop or a desktop. We don't recommend using either a tablet or a smartphone. Now, there are ways to use your smartphone as a camera and input to your system so that you can use that simply as a camera tool. There's applications on that smartphone. Again, we're going to make some recommendations here that are not contradictory to that, but are different, and it's based on our experience. We happen to use the Xfinity 1 gigabyte service. Now, I'm going to tell you the prices that we pay for each of these things, because we've decided that it's important enough to us to make an investment, and the investment happens to be a monthly subscription. But for the amount of time and frustration it saves us, it's worth the investment. So for a 1 gigabyte, right? You've heard. I think CenturyLink has a 75 megabyte. So 1 gigabyte is 1,000 megabytes worth of throughput. We pay $99 a month. And I remember paying far more than that when we were still using those modems that had the buzzing sound at 9,600 baud. So I feel like the $99 we pay every month for the Xfinity 1 gigabyte service is really good. Now, Xfinity is a Comcast cable. So our connection out of here is a cable connection, and that's why we can get this kind of performance. Not everybody can offer that level of performance, but you should find someone who you can, even if you have to pay, who can provide you that level of performance, even if you have to pay for it. The minimum requirements are three things, and I'm going to show you how to get that information: a 10 millisecond or less ping, a 5 megabyte upload, minimum 5 megabyte upload, and a 5 megabyte download. Now, when it comes to live streaming, the download is almost unimportant, because what we're doing right now is we're uploading. Now, here's what's great about using a product like StreamYard. The reason we could do this with 5 megabytes is we're uploading our video, our stream, to StreamYard and it's distributing it to 8 different locations, 5 of them on Facebook, 2 of them on YouTube. We don't have to worry about that. They take that responsibility. So it works out very nicely. And that's why we could get away with a much lower quality service, but this one works for us and we're very happy with it. If you're unsure about the state of your internet service, go to speedtest.net and you will, speedtest.net will look at your internet service and it will open up a screen that just says there's a big circle in the middle and it says go. Click on that circle and it'll give you this data. And it also stores that data as a result. So every time you do that, it stores that with a number and you can look at your results. And you can use that as a way with talking, like every once in a while, I'll get a result like this. I'm paying for 1 gigabyte. I'm getting 472 megabytes. So I always give Xfinity a little call after that. And I say, I need you to reset my modem. Because generally speaking, just resetting your modem does that. And that's a quick call to
Your
their
modem or your router?
my router. No, my modem.
Hmm.
That thing.
Oh, it's
Because
called
it's
a modem?
well, it's a modem as well as a router, right?
Hmm.
So the signal, the initial signal comes in through that makes it a modem, and then it distributes it to the rest of the house via Wi-Fi. So it's also a router. All right. But the other thing that I've done is I connect my modem to my computer via an Ethernet cable because there is nothing faster. You don't, if you can avoid it, you want to connect to your modem via your Ethernet port rather than using wireless, because using wireless makes it even more unreliable when it comes to these things. So what you're seeing when you see 472 download is a cable connection as well as an Ethernet connection between the modem, which is also a router, and the computer. Also, I have a 41.89 upload. Now, you're going to find that none of these companies guarantee upload speeds. But as I said, the uploads, I'm sorry, 41.89 upload speed. You don't need to worry about download. Download is almost irrelevant when it comes to live streaming. You need to worry about your upload speed. It should be a minimum of 5 megabytes. 41.89 is plenty. But again, most of the companies will guarantee a download speed because they're assuming you're going to downstream stuff. You're going to download your streaming stuff. They're not going to guarantee you they don't sell you upload speed. They sell you download speed. So make sure you have enough in your upload. If they sell you, a 25 megabyte download speed and a 3 megabyte upload speed, that's not going to help you when it comes to live streaming. You are going to have problems, or you're going to have to diminish the quality of your stream in order to get performance. So our stream is sent up in a full 1080, 1920 by 1080 stream. If we have an option of downsizing that to 720, 1280 by 720, if we had to, if it wasn't working for us. But again, at the rate we don't have any problems at all. So as I said, you can test that at speedtest.net. It's very helpful. Shelley?
So yeah, it's just it's one of those things that you probably already have. You just want to double check that it has enough performance for you to be able to live stream without glitching and hanging up. And you may already know whether or not your internet is at this performance level because you might be using Zoom, and some people on Zoom end up having those hang-ups and those glitches, and they don't have enough power to have their screen on sometimes. So you may already kind of have an idea of where you're at with your internet performance, but the speedtest.net can just show you in numbers so that you can have that assurance.
And if you have a laptop, it is very likely that you keep that laptop mobile around your house by using the wireless service that's provided in the laptops. It is rare anymore that a laptop comes without a wireless card. So it's easy to use that to move around the house. But when you're sitting in your studio at the desktop, connected by yourself an Ethernet cable, you can get them at Home Depot and Lowe's. They're the cable that looks like a telephone cable, but it's 2 pins wider. And connect with that Ethernet cable. So you're not using wireless to communicate when you're at your desk, when you're in your quote studio, unquote, because that's going to give you the best performance. Shelley?
Next, you want to take a look at your computer hardware. Do you have a laptop or do you have a desktop computer? We like desktop because we leave it all set up in our office, in our studio, ready to go. And it has a higher performance. The desktop computer is going to cost you a lot less than the laptop that would have the same performance value. So we just prefer a desktop. But if you already have a laptop that you're really happy with and it's fairly new, you're probably going to be fine with that. You want a current version of your either Windows or Mac operating system. You need a minimum of 16 gigabytes of RAM. You want to have audio input and output available to you on your hardware. And I asked Toby, I was like, well, is there a place we can send them to quantify what kind of performance they're getting with their current machine so that they know where they're at?
So the reason we recommend the current version of Mac or Windows is that if you're running that, it is likely that you have a laptop with enough performance. And that's important. So if you're running Windows 7 or one of the older versions of Mac, you upgrade your laptop or your computer so that it accepts the Windows, because your laptop will tell you if you try and install Windows on it, it says this computer will not support Windows 10 for a variety of reasons. The 16 gigabytes of RAM is helpful because when you're doing what we're doing, there's a lot happening in memory. Not only are we live streaming on Chrome, so Chrome takes up, I think there's, if I were to open Task Manager right now, there'd be 16 or 17 Chrome windows open before it gets to anything else. Plus, the stream uses graphics information. So it helps if you have a graphics card in your laptop or your desktop, because it uses a lot of different parts of your computer in order to do that live stream. You can get that update or you can run a test online at cpux.net. The test takes about 5 minutes. And the fun part is to listen to your fan go progressively faster till it sounds like your computer is going to explode on you. It's not, but it's pushing the performance thing. So what you're looking for is the number of threads right here. You'll see that we have 32 threads, and they maxed them out. If you have 8 threads, that's going to be less efficient. So you want a minimum of 8. 4 is probably not going to be enough. You want a minimum number of 8, and it depends on the processor that you have. Don't worry about the processor, just look at these numbers. So you want a minimum of 8 and anything above that. Now, we happen to have 32, but I know there are workstations with 64 threads that support. The speed will tell you, now this is not going to make a lot of sense to you, but that's the processor speed. It's 335 hertz per second. And that tells you how fast the processor is running. And then there's a set of points here. Now these set of points will all go all the way around the label. It gave us 112,000. If you're below, say, the second or third, what do they call these points? No, what's the word? There's a word for that. Then you're going to need another computer. You're going to need another laptop. Just remember that, because not any of this is going to make sense. And it's going to rank you in terms of the 185,000 times they've run this test. We came out 21,130 of 185,000. So we're effectively in the top 10% or so. I could do that calculation in terms of performance ranking. So that's pretty good. We want to be there. If you're 50% or below, if you fall that, you should consider getting a new laptop or desktop. Okay. So ranking is the one that tells you, like, I got a good computer, a bad computer. We're in the top 10%. That's a pretty good computer. We're happy with that. And what's interesting is, although we're running Windows 10, this computer is probably 4 years old now. And every time I do this, I look at Shelley and say, let's go buy another computer. Like, but
It does.
but it works, right?
Yeah.
It does what it's supposed to. So we're
That's
very
right.
happy with it.
That's right.
So the studio, here we're going to do with the studio, and what we're going to talk about in order of appearance is what your studio location should look like. Your camera recommended camera. This is what we recommend: your lighting and your headphones with microphone. Now, I used to call this a headset, but it confused people because they just envisioned that it was that part, a headset. We highly recommend that you use a headset with a microphone. It keeps your hands free, and the microphone's always in front of you. So if I turn to talk to Shelly, I'm not looking away from the microphone. And also, this microphone is designed. This particular headset is made by Audio Technica, and it's designed to be used by sports broadcasters, so that when they're in an auditorium or at a football stadium, the background noise, it picks up our voices. You can hear, if we were in a stadium or a trade show, for example, you'd hear a little tiny bit of background noise, but not enough to be disturbing. Shelton, did you want to add anything to that?
No, we'll get into each one of those one at a time to expand on them. But if you do have any questions, please make sure you put them in the chat so that we can answer them during our live stream.
Yeah.
And you had a thing to show?
I had a thing to show.
Yeah, a video.
Oh,
Show a video.
thank you for reminding me. Yeah. Here's our mid-show commercial. That's what it is.
Stay tuned.
Have you ever had a fantastic idea for a Facebook group, YouTube channel, podcast, online course, workshop, or an entire business, but gave up on it because of the online technology involved in making it happen? Or have you started the process only to find it requires an incredible amount of time, effort, and expense to create valuable digital content? Investing in this kind of social media content creation often means you use up all your resources wrangling technology instead of working with clients or sharing your message. Hi, I'm Shelley Carney with AGK Media Studio, your online solution to live streaming or recording video and audio presentations. The AGK Media Studio can put you in front of your audience immediately and eliminate the confusion and frustration of every erratic social media platform and unpredictable software integration. When you produce your videos with AGK Media Studio, you're the expert producer and we're your crew. We're here to support you and handle all the tech so you can focus on your topic and your audience. With our streamlined process, there's no editing necessary and your videos are ready as soon as you finish your presentation. Working with us means you can produce consistent, high-quality, live, interactive online videos now, today. We take care of the tech with our VIP service and give you a professional look that inspires admiration and respect. It starts with preparation. We will validate and certify your home office and branding for professional video best practices. Next is the production phase, where we record your presentation while embedding your branding and music into your video for a polished finish. Then, when you finish recording, you'll immediately receive video and audio files ready to upload to your channel or online teaching platform. What would it mean for your business if you could complete and upload all the video materials you need in just a few hours? Schedule a consultation call with AGK Media Studio today, and let's start live streaming or recording your video tomorrow.
So that was really interesting because we were just talking about that. So we've never had that experience before. There's only one thing that we've changed. We've moved from streaming. Yeah, we've moved from streaming at 7 o'clock at night to 1 o'clock in the afternoon, where traffic is higher.
Mm-hmm.
So what I have to do now is I have to go run those tests that you just saw, the speedtest.net, and see whether or not we're impacting the internet and how we're performing against the internet.
At 1 in the afternoon.
At 1 in the afternoon versus the 7 o'clock at night. So that's
Correct.
really interesting. I usually have one that I play when we outro, but I don't think I'm going to do that today. I'm just not going to. I'm going to go with the outro, straight to the outro rather than the promo.
All right. Well,
Okay.
Don't forget podcast. All right, so let's talk about location. Again, we spoke about how people in our age group very often have that extra bedroom. And if you can wrangle that extra bedroom, at least one wall of that extra bedroom, and create an office for yourself so that you have a quiet space with a door that you can shut to keep out pets or grandkids or spouses who are listening to loud music or whatever's going on in your house, that can be very helpful for you, and then you don't have to stress about having a quiet space. You want to minimize your window lighting. That means have blinds and or drapes across your windows so that the light isn't changing as the sun moves across the sky. You want to avoid backlighting so that you don't have more light behind you than you have in front of you, because then you just turn into a silhouette and people can't see your face. You want an uncluttered space so that when you walk in, you feel ready to get to work, to create a presentation, and you don't have this, I got to clean that up kind of a feeling when you walk in. Unobtrusive background. It's you just want something clean and neat, and it doesn't matter other than that what's behind you. A lot of times people want to put up something that's uniquely them, or they might want to put up some signage if they have signage, if they're used to going to trade shows and that sort of thing, and they have a sign for their business, they might want to put that up in the background. Large enough desk so that you have space for everything, so you're not worried about things falling off the edge in the middle of, when you're gesturing and whatnot. And a comfortable, quiet chair, because you may be sitting there all day sometimes, and you want something that's going to be comfortable for you for a long period of time.
Why quiet? Explain to the folks.
Well, and you have to train yourself not to sit there and wiggle and squeak your chair and move about, because that can be very distracting for your audience.
We had a meeting with a client once, and it's been a while since it's happened. And I don't know what chair they were using, but it must have been a World War II vintage, because every time he moved, it would squeak in some way or the other. And it was very distracting. And I finally suggested, made the recommendation that if this was going to be the studio that he was going to be using for his clients, that either change the chair or give it a WD-40 overhaul. So a couple of things. The reason we want to minimize window lighting, and we have a big window in this room that's over on that wall. It covers probably 60% of the wall,
As most bedrooms do.
And it has Venetian blinds. And then I have some black, what they call light-proof curtains. You don't have to order them. You can buy them at Walmart. But they're also soundproof. And the reason we want that window lighting is window light, sunlight, daylight is very high Kelvin number. It's 5,600 Kelvin. So it's blue. And almost everything in your house, whether you're using, like we do, the CFLs or incandescent or LEDs, is a much warmer color. So if you have lighting in front of you that's any of the above, CFL, LED, or tungsten or incandescent, you're going to have that light on one side of your face, and then you're going to have the blue coming in from the window on the other side of your face. And it literally, when you see it, it's very. And the thing about cameras nowadays is they try to correct for white balance, and they can't correct it when you have two different Kelvin light colors coming in. And it's very subtle, but it's very noticeable once someone is sitting there. The other thing I wanted to point out was the large enough desk. I am, as Shelley will tell you, a big fan of horizontal surfaces. Like, the more that I have.
I don't know any man who isn't.
Okay, well.
Coming into the house and just dropping everything on there.
This is one, and we have a lot of equipment on this table, including a digital audio mixer, the keyboard, 2 telephones, our notebooks, a mouse and mouse pad, etc. So you need that kind of space just so you can get around. Now, if all you're using is your laptop, you don't need all of that, but make sure it's a clean, uncluttered space. And kind of the bottom line is that you feel like you're going into your studio, because that's kind of the part of the feedback that you want to give yourself. Like, I'm in my studio now. I'm going to start live streaming now, and I want to make this as good a live stream as
comments
possible. Let's see. We got a bunch of questions. Oh, it's Pirate. Hey, Pirate. Thank you. So, Pirate, we're going to have to get rid of you. Yes, we do read chats. when we get them, as long as they are on topic. As you can see, Pirates were not on topic, so he's gone now. Bye, Pirate. Thanks for joining.
Next slide.
Next slide. So most laptops come with the camera right at the top of the laptop. They are A, not very good cameras, and B, they are always in the wrong position, meaning that they are lower than your eye level. So we always recommend, even if you have one on your laptop, getting a good webcam. You can, if you want, use some tools that enable you to use your DSLR or something like that. But today's webcams produce a very good image at 1920 full HD, 1920 by 1080. That's what we're using now. The model that we're using right now is the Logitech C25. I think
925.
I'm sorry, 925. It runs about $80. The 920, which is almost as good, runs around $60 now. It's actually the last year's model, but either will work. Now, they all come with an app. And that app, you want to use that app not only to set it up so it's the right white balance, et cetera, because it pretty much locks in. But these webcams now come with microphones on the front of them. You can see them right here. Those are actually microphones. And if you don't turn them off, your sound card is going to recognize them. So it's going to turn off your headset microphone and use those microphones. And that's where you get that hollow sound that none of us like. So make sure you use your app or your system's sound card, not sound card, but sound control panel to turn the microphone, the microphones off on your Logitech or your webcam. And then use a tool. Now, sometimes it's a desktop tripod, a desktop sized tripod. Make sure it's at eye level. You can see that our camera is at eye level. So we're looking directly into the camera and we're not doing this. I always tell when somebody's using a laptop because they have to turn their head downward to look at the laptop, the camera on the laptop, which is at the top of their screen. So that's what you want to avoid. You want to get as much engagement as possible by communicating with your eyes, engaging with your eyes, and you want your camera at eye level behind your laptop. Shelley?
If you already have a laptop and you love using the laptop camera, we do suggest that if you want to do that, use a riser. Put something underneath it. It could be a box or books or something specifically made as a riser for your laptop to raise that camera up to your eye level, and then make sure that you adjust the lid of the laptop so that the camera is focused on your face and your chin is in the the top third or the top it
half.
should be right here in the top half.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't have too much head space.
Yeah.
If you're going to use it that way.
Right. So we were in a Zoom meeting this morning, and one of the people that was in the Zoom call looked like this. I'm going to just show it, and then I'll get back up. They look like that. And it's like they were scrunched down. In one case, he leaned over, and actually all we could see was the top of his head. So that's not what you want to do. You want to be not only high enough in your chair, but in relation to your camera, so your chin is above the center line. That lets people feel like they're communicating with someone other than a very small chimpanzee.
And something that I also learned by listening to a podcast this past week is you don't want to be too close to your camera and be right in people's faces, because they can become uncomfortable, even unconsciously. If you start off your presentation and you're very close to the camera, it may feel like, hey, you're in my personal space, you need to back up. And they may leave your presentation because they're feeling uncomfortable about that. So make sure that you're back far enough that you're at a social distance. You know, you're 3 to 5 feet away from your camera, so that you have that extra social distancing that people have come to understand and appreciate.
And as you can see in our image, we're giving you the equivalent of what is a little more than a head and shoulders shot. So it's not just my big head. Shelley has a cute little head, but my big head in the camera frightening you away. Shelley?
Lighting. Now, there are many ways to go with lighting, but we think it's fun to start off with the ring light for several reasons. One, it's easy to set up. You simply order something from Amazon, it comes, and you just boop and plug it in, and there it is, and it's ready to go. It provides an even, flattering light for you, and it's inexpensive and it's portable. So if you grow out of it, you can still use it later if you need something as a backup.
Mhm.
And it comes with a bulb that has a long life and runs cool, so you're not adding additional heat to your studio.
Now, this particular light actually comes with LED lights that are filterable. So you can set it for daylight, 5600K, room light, which is 4400K. So you can adjust that to give you the whatever warmth you like. And they're also adjustable for brightness and dimness. So you can actually set it up, and you'll see this little device right here. That's a camera control, but there's also a wireless remote for the light itself. So you can, using the wireless remote, you can adjust both the white balance as well as the brightness of the light. You don't have to be on top of it. The last thing that we recommend is that so generally speaking, these lights are designed for people like this, who are putting their cell phone in the center mount, and they come with the center mounts, and are speaking directly to their cell phone, and they don't mind the fact that the ring light is going to show up as a circle in their eyes. That seems to be acceptable for social media influencers. They're okay with that. It's different when you wear glasses, because if you, like Shelly and I, we both have glasses that are anti-reflective. But when we put that ring light right in front of us, there's a big circle in each of our eyeglasses. So what we recommend is raising the light up enough so that when you're looking at the camera, the ring light, and it's okay because it's normal lighting, basically. That's why people judge lighting by how they see you in sunlight. That's kind of the model. But raise it high enough so it's not reflecting directly into your glasses, and then tilt it downwards just a little bit. These ring lights are so efficient and so diffuse that you can put them up above the camera and actually get a really good lighting on yourself, and avoid that ring light if you happen to be wearing glasses. If you're not wearing glasses, it does show the ring in your eyes, but when you're sitting back as far as we are right now, for example, nobody's going to notice it. And again, whoops, went back one. And again, they're very inexpensive. So, Shelly?
All right. These are the headphones that we recommend. They're called One Audio A71, and they're really versatile because you can add the microphone, take the microphone away. You can plug it into a variety of inlets. So we really like it. I have one at home that I use, and you can also use it with your phone. So if, for instance, you're listening to Clubhouse or music or a podcast or whatever, you can use that headset as well. And it's super convenient because it is so versatile.
And it's very inexpensive when we compare the price of the One Audio A71 to what we're wearing here. These are $200 headsets. And the One Audio, I think, comes in at around $40. I may be off by that.
30.
Is it?
Yeah.
But as Shelly said, it's very versatile in the sense that not only can you use it as a headset only, you can use it as a headset on different devices. So it comes with a variety of plugs on each side. You'll see one right here. This is a 1/4 inch phono plug right there. That's a 1/8 inch stereo phono plug right there. So if you have a 1/8 inch plug going to a 1/4 inch or vice versa, you can use it in a variety of ways on that device. In addition to that, if you're like us and you use iPhones, you can get an iPhone adapter for this right here, for this TRRS plug, and it works with your iPhone not only for listening to music, but for you can make phone calls. This is part of that cable. This is microphone adjustment. You can make 2 adjustments on the microphone. One is basically on or off, mute or not mute, and the other is the volume. So it's one of the best that we found for the price. The microphone is really very good. It's not as good as this, but it is very good, and it's probably I would say it's the one we recommend. That's how we feel about it. How's that?
That's right. Let's talk about applications. Was it my turn? I may have jumped
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. You go ahead. I'm just kind of because I'm following up.
These are the minimum. These are the minimum that we recommend for applications. To have a Gmail account, we talked about this last week. Gmail, once you have Gmail, it opens up a whole world of possibilities for you with other applications that come along with Gmail that make your life easier. Then there's a YouTube account, which one of the things that comes along with Gmail is your YouTube account. And that's going to be where we recommend you do your live streaming mainly. And that's because YouTube is the number 2 search engine and Google is number 1, and Google owns YouTube, and they work together in concert to give you the highest SEO possible for your live stream videos. We recommend Snappa. A lot of people like Canva. If you're already using Canva and you're used to it, that's great. But if you have not ever used Canva, or you don't have a favorite graphics program where you're going to be creating your social media graphics and your YouTube thumbnails and, those cool little things that you want to create with a picture and words that you want to stick on social media so people know what's going on in an instant because they see the picture, they see what you got going on. Snappa is our favorite for that. And then we use StreamYard for streaming. StreamYard is the product that we have come to love because it has the fewest problems. Has the fewest glitches of any product that we've ever used for live streaming. Someday it may not always be that way, but we think the people who created StreamYard that was their number one goal, was to make it as glitch free as humanly possible.
So a couple of things. There are all free versions. Gmail, of course, is free. Your YouTube account, because you have Gmail, is free. You can get a free version of your Snappa account that has limitations, as all free versions do, but it'll give you an idea. You can use it enough to decide, well, this is a really cool tool that's very usable. And the same with StreamYard. We have the $40 a month subscription, $39 a month subscription. But we use almost all of what that subscription offers. But there is a free version, and you can get up to 20 hours of live streaming every month with the free version. So if you want to just try them out, a good way to do it is start with a free version, then go to the monthly subscription. So if, as you use more of their capabilities, you can find out whether or not they're useful to you. And then eventually you can save money by going to the annual subscription. Now, the point that Shelley made when we got to StreamYard, we literally, since 2014, have attempted every possible variation of streaming tool. Trying to find one that we were happy with. We've used the online apps like Melon and Restream, and we use the desktop apps like OBS and OBS Studio. So all of them require a certain amount of technical expertise. When we got to StreamYard, we found out not only was it the most capable and most efficient, but it had all the features. You find one product like Restream.io, and it had these great distribution features. You could distribute to a variety of platforms, but it didn't have the branding features. So StreamYard has all the distribution features. You can distribute to up to 8 different platforms at one time. But it has all the branding features. So when you see this background, for example, you can't see that. On our screen, if you look at the background and the logo and the banner at the bottom, the scrolling banner at the bottom, all of those are branding features that come with it. So we came to StreamYard after a long and, I'm not going to call it harrowing,
A long and
winding road of applications for streaming. And that's where we ended up. Now, as Shelley also said, there may be a time in the future where something comes along and we go, oh, okay. Because we don't mind jumping if it's in our best interest to do so. But we've been using StreamYard now for what?
Since March.
Yeah, March, April, May, June, July, August, 6 months, 7 months. And we haven't seen anything come online that would cause us to say, Well, let's go there.
Plus, StreamYard gives you the ability to stream with a multi-stream to more than one YouTube account, more than one Facebook
Right.
page. You can go into Facebook groups, pages. You can go on your personal profile all at the same time. It's going to save you time and headaches. I'm hoping that some days they come up with something that streams to Instagram as well, but
Mhm.
Instagram is being a little stubborn about that.
Right. That's
And-
Instagram's fault. Right.
yeah, that's the Instagram interface, and Facebook already owns Instagram, so maybe they just want to keep that separate. I don't know, but that multi-streaming ability is so helpful that you can go to 2 or 3 different places on Facebook, where most of the streaming apps that we've tried don't
do
allow
that.
you to do that.
As a matter of fact, they get sticky wicket because they say if you want another Facebook account, you have to upgrade your
Yeah.
subscription.
Yeah.
So right now, we're being distributed to 5 Facebook accounts, 5 Facebook pages, and 2 YouTube channels. You can have as many linkages as you want. There's no limitation to the number of linkages, but you can stream even in the professional version up to 8 platforms at once. And even if those platforms are the same, like I said, we're on 5 Facebook pages and 2 YouTube pages. Shelley?
So those are the minimums that you want to consider putting together to create your in-home studio. Then what do you want to save up for? Here are some nice to have things that we use, that we recommend, and that are definitely worth saving up for. And they aren't, except for the Rodecaster, they aren't expensive items even. So let's talk about those.
All right. So the first thing that we're going to recommend, whether you're using a laptop or a desktop, the desktop probably already has a monitor with it, get a second monitor. And the reason is for doing what we're doing right now, which is a presentation on this monitor and a technical direction on this monitor, it gives me the ability to kind of move back and forth. And you can do that on yours. You're going to find out that the laptop screen is so small, even if you have a 16 or 17-inch screen, in comparison to what you need to do, it's actually inhibiting. You get frustrated with it. So the laptop, I pretty much guarantee you that your current laptop has an HDMI out port or a what's the other model? DVI, digital display port. Either one of those will connect to another monitor. So get yourself, and we get back to the problem of horizontal surface, of acreage. It would be a good idea to have a second monitor so that you can go back and forth between the two. And for example, if I was using a laptop right now, I'd have the presentation on one and have the technical director, StreamYard, on the larger of the 2 monitors.
And if you're like me, you may even have a monitor sitting around that you used to use and you haven't used it in years.
Yeah.
Pull it out, plug it in, see if it works. And the second monitor that I have on my desk is probably, I don't know, at least 8 years old.
Yeah, the
and
monitor
it works just fine.
Right. The monitor, as long as it has a current input port, so HDMI or display port, and make sure you check it before you start buying cables, because they're very different. The display port looks like it's HDMI, but it has a little jiggy on the end of it that requires the DVI port. So you may even have a situation, I don't think it is on here, but you may go HDMI from your computer to DVI on the monitor. We have 2 27-inch monitors in here right in front of us, one there and one here. And I think we paid $130 for each. So it wasn't a big investment. And we do have another monitor that we can put up. It's actually a touchscreen monitor if we need it, when we need it for presentations.
Well, Toby has them on a, what do you call that thing?
I don't know, a desk mount. I mean, it's a serious desk mount. But
yeah, it's a desk mount, and it holds 2 monitors. Mine are just on their, on their stands on my desk, so it takes up a little bit more room. But my desk is wider than this.
Yeah. These monitors are sitting on a desk mount with arms that swivel and move and raise and lower. So again, we're not expecting that you do that. This is our studio,
but it's something to consider and think about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we decided to make the investment necessary to really make it a studio. This room literally has no other purpose than for this. It's closed otherwise, but I get to show it off every time I have a party, which I love doing.
Then we have lighting. Now, some people are unable to hang lights on their wall for whatever reason. But if you are able to hang these lights, it's only about $30 for the lamps, the 2 lamps, and then an additional $30 for the bulbs. Is that correct?
Yeah, the 2 lamps are 30 and the 2 bulbs are 30. So I think it came out to like $72 total with tax,
Mhm.
tags, and
And you don't
license.
have to wire them into your hardwire them into the wall. All you have to do is hang them and then plug them in. So you may want a nice long
Power strip.
power strip to plug in everything that you're going to be putting into your studio. But these particular lights that we use, they're mounted, they're easy. We flip them on when we come in, we flip them off when we leave, and we don't have to move them. Once they're up, they're up. So we highly recommend having wall-mounted lighting for that reason.
And these particular bulbs are called compact fluorescent light bulbs. They're made for video production. You can buy them on Amazon, and I'll show you in just a minute where you can get all of this stuff. We don't use soft boxes. We don't use anything. It's soft lighting. The only reflectivity comes from the kind of off-white wall behind it. But because we've put up 2 lamps at 45-degree angle from each other, from us, and a 45-degree height, it gives us what most people would call flat lighting. But flat lighting is what you want in your studio. And again, it's not hundreds of dollars of an installation time of soft boxes, things like that. It's just 2 light bulbs.
And you don't
two,
have a lot of shadow or anything
right,
like that.
No, and you guys can see how good the lighting is. And it's very simple. It's the next step up. And I mean, this is titled What to Save For. It's the step up from the ring light because it just makes it so easy. And they're up on the walls. Shelley gave you all the reasons why. Shelley?
Oh, well, I'm not going to talk about the digital audio mixer because that's your deal. You don't have to have a digital audio mixer to get started. A lot of our clients, they don't use a mixer at all. It is a thing to save up for.
Okay, so here's what I'll say about the digital audio mixer. The one that you see in the picture there is the Rodecaster Pro. It is relatively expensive in comparison to analog audio mixers. You can buy a Behringer audio mixer for a couple $100. Then that's the big one. You can get a small one for $80 to $100. But they're analog and they don't have quite the capabilities of digital. The reason the Rode, and I'll tell you the price, it's $599. Is that right? $599? Yeah, $600. But we've had it for 3 years, and because it is digital, because it has a microprocessor inside, it's constantly being upgraded. And the way they make upgrades is they send out a software update and we get new capabilities. So for example, these buttons here are, they're called the soundboard, and these are sound pads. We used to have 8 of them. Now they've given the ability to have 8 times 8. We can have up to 64 of these sound pads as we transition from one show to the next, etc. And you can put anything. Now this is a music sound pad right now. So I've got the music for all our different shows starting off there. I can go to the previous pad. That pad happens to be sound effects, everything from wah, wah, wah to whatever. But I can do that in the middle of the show. So I can go up to 8 times 8 worth of sound pads. The other thing it does is it has 4 microphone inputs and 4 microphone outputs. So we can have up to 2 guests. It has Bluetooth connection to your phone. So if I have my phone in here and I want to take calls, it'll connect to my phone and I don't have to put my phone to my head. I just use what I'm doing. So if you want to talk digital audio mixers, I'd be happy to spend some time with you, because this, again, we've had this. I bought it when it first came out. So it's been 3.5, maybe 4 years. About 2 months ago, we realized that channel 3 had dropped, meaning we didn't have control over the third of 4 channels. So I called them, asked them, it was out of warranty, basically. And I said, what to do? Asked them what to do. They said, send it in. We'll look at it and decide what to do then. I said, will you call me before you do anything so I can get how much it's going to cost me? I never heard from them. I got an email saying your Rodecaster's on your way back. And I called them. The person that I'd been dealing with was Alex. And he said, no, there's no charge. We just decided to give you a new one. So that is my experience with Rode, is that their customer support is amazing. So we have a brand new one now. A lot of the features are software. It's pretty much the same package, but it has all these software improvements that we had on the other until we lost channel 3. Now we have all the channels plus all the software upgrades as done by them in a brand new box. Yay, I get to open toys. There are options for you. Zoom, another major audio manufacturer, has the Zoom PodTrack P8. It looks a lot and acts a lot like the Rodecaster, and it's about $150 cheaper. The only thing that I didn't like about the Zoom is it has its inputs along the top here. And so all the cables come out, input on the top, and it gets, what's the right word? Cluttered.
Less neat.
Yeah, it's less neat, cluttered. For the Rodecaster, all the inputs and outputs are on the back. So that's a nice one. I do not own the Zoom PodTrack P8. I have tried it out at a recent trade show. I do have the Zoom PodTrack P4, which I don't have a picture of. I'll show you one here in a minute. It is a portable version. It's about that big. It has 4 inputs. 4 microphone inputs. It also has a Bluetooth phone input, and it has a USB input output. You can connect it to your computer, and it can act like a mixer. It's that big, and if you buy the P4 and the Bluetooth adapter, it's $250. The P4 is $200, and the Bluetooth adapter is $50. And the great thing about that is it's battery operated. You can actually operate it on a USB port, but it's battery operated, so it's portable. Shelly and I are going to a conference in Phoenix in October, and we're going to take that with us because we want to do some interviews with the folks that are going to be at that conference. So
now,
that's
those
the cool
will
thing
be
about
recorded, not live streamed.
Right. Yeah, those be recorded. I don't think I have it in here.
Mm-mm.
I don't. It's in my case outside.
Mm-hmm.
So it's in the storage unit outside. So so those are your options when it comes to digital audio mixers. Shelley, you want to take on the second
As
camera?
you can see, there's the green wall, picture of the green wall there. That's what's behind us. This is not actually our gorgeous living room. It's a green screen wall. We painted it this color, Hollywood green or chroma key green, so that we could easily use the green screen feature that's available in StreamYard and some other products. But StreamYard does a really great job using the green screen. So we're very happy with our green wall. And that's something that you can save up for and do if you have a wall behind you that's not very far from you and you have the lighting for it. So
Right.
talk about that.
So there's a couple of things that I've been doing green screen studio work for decades, I guess. And one of the things that I learned is you have to light the green screen separately from your lighting. So we've got our lighting up there, but right over our heads, there's lighting for the green screen. It's the same set of bulbs, except this time there are what would I call that?
Reflector?
Reflectors around it that I had my son made from polished tin. And they're reflecting their light right back onto the green screen without putting additional light on us. So again, it did cost me a little bit to have them put in because the room light is right above our heads. So I changed that to compact fluorescence so it matches the lighting. And then I had an electrician come in, and he charged me $150, I think, for putting in the two new sockets. And they screw right into those sockets. And then my son made the reflectors for me. So there is some investment, but for the most part, most of these products like Zoom, like Restream, like StreamYard, will give you green screen with a good wall and reasonable lighting. So you don't have to go through the trouble. It helps if you light it separately. Now, Shelley did mention that we did paint our wall with chroma key green, but there are lots of products out there that enable you to buy what is referred to as a pop-up green screen, and we have used those in the past so that you can put it directly behind you and it's big enough to give you the green screen effect. So green screens are funny because I was watching. We had a Zoom meeting, as I said. We were doing a presentation in Zoom for a friend of ours this morning, and several of the people were using the Zoom green screen feature,
Hmm.
and it just doesn't make it without the additional lighting and a green screen. So it tries to do it with just your normal background, and it doesn't quite cut
Yeah,
it.
things
So
fade in and out.
yeah,
It's
you're better
distracting.
off.
I think
You're
it's
better
distracting.
off having a uncluttered studio-like background, bookshelves, things like that. I don't know if you've ever seen Shelley when she's in her house. She doesn't have a green screen. We've thought about putting one up, but she has a great background. It's uncluttered. It's unobtrusive. It doesn't get in the way of the conversation, etc. So, and then second camera, I'm going to let Shelley take the lead on this one because she has opinions on it.
Oh, okay. Well, if you are trying to live stream things such as you are doing work with your hands, you're doing some sort of art project, or you need to show something besides yourself, and you want it to be in real time, and you don't want it to be a slide with a photo on it. You want it to be in real time, such as when Toby likes to show his microscope work, and he shares what he's showing you under the microscope. It's nice to have some sort of second camera set up for that. It's also kind of fun if you just want to change angles, or if you have more than one person in the studio and you want a close-up of one of the people or something. If you just want a different look, that second camera can be a lot of fun, and StreamYard can handle having two cameras, and it's not a difficult feat. Am I correct?
No, you are correct. It's the only thing that they've made more difficult is the switching.
Mhm.
Because you actually have to physically select that camera. So it takes the technical director saying, okay, we're going to switch over to the other camera. They are planning a feature that enables you to use basically the equivalent of push buttons to do that.
Mhm.
And again, we're going to strongly recommend a USB camera. You can actually have as many cameras as you want. I think up to 8. Your only limitation is the number of USB input ports you have on your computer. So, but these are the things that we recommend to get as you grow the usage of your studio, what to get to help you make it easier and better looking. Oops, got to do it over here. Sally?
All right. Uh, for those of you who are interested in getting more information about the specific products that we've shown you today and the specific products that we personally use, we suggest you go to our Amazon shop, take a look at what's in there. It's going to help take you directly to that one item that you may be interested in looking at. You can find pretty much everything we've talked about today in the home studio kit. Just open that up, look through that, see what you're excited about, and there's no additional charge if you buy it through our shop. It's the same price as you would pay if you just went directly to Amazon, but it does help you to locate the item. We will get a small commission, a few pennies on any purchase, and so we appreciate you do go through our store to purchase anything you were going to buy anyway, but it isn't necessary to do that. And there's the link.
And I put the link in the chat room as well as the screen in front of us.
I'll say it out loud for the podcast. It's amazon.com/shop/a gypsy's kiss.
That's what I was going to do.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
No.
Walk over you.
I've learned from you, madam. I've learned from you.
Okay. That is how you set up a live streaming studio in your home. You can put out live stream video, podcast, blogs. You can do it all 1 hour a week. And that's what we do.
And the other thing too is the big reason to set up this space that we like calling our studio is that it makes you feel when you're doing it like you're doing this in the most professional way possible, and that you're not doing that selfie mode of live streaming, which just drives me crazy. I usually just don't watch anymore after a while, but it makes you feel like you're doing something good, something professional, and it makes your audience see you as a professional who not only is good at whatever topical area they're in.
It gives you that additional credibility.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
what you're trying to do. So all the Bryans, we want to say hi to all the Bryans in the room. Bunch of
Brian
Bryans.
G and Brian U.
Yeah. Hi, guys. Nice to see you again. So that is all I got for today. Any closing thoughts?
I hope that you got a lot out of today's topic. And if you have any additional questions, please do contact us at support@agkmedia.studio. That's our email address. Or give us a call and leave a voicemail or text at 505-750-2744.
I think that's all I got. Shelley, thank you. As usual, very informative. It was great doing this particular show. Now, next week, we're going to have episode 4 in this series of 11. And for the life of me, I can't remember what episode 4. We've outlined them all. And we talked about them in episode 1. So, but next week, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do episode 4. And basically, what we're building for you is a
Path to follow.
What do they call it? A list.
Checklist.
Not checklist. YouTube.
I don't know what you're talking
You
about.
do know what I'm talking about when you get to say this belongs in the playlist.
Oh, a playlist.
So we're building a playlist of 11 episodes that are going to cover all this information for you. So take advantage of that. All right. Thanks for joining us today. We will see you again next week. Remember, we have a new time, Wednesdays at 1 p.m.